Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Dynamics Corner, the podcast where we dive deep into all things Microsoft Dynamics. Whether you're a seasoned expert or just starting your journey into the world of Dynamics 365, this is your place to gain insights, learn new tricks, and hear from industry experts. The community in a career journey acts as both a lighthouse and a harbor, guiding through the fog of uncertainty and providing a safe haven for growth, learning, and collaboration. It's where individuals' paths intertwine, creating a tapestry rich with shared knowledge and mutual support. I am your co-host, Kris.
And this is Brad. This episode is recorded on March 6th, 2024. Kris.
Good morning.
Good evening. Good morning. Good
evening.
Afternoon, whatever it is. Another great episode. Today we had the opportunity to speak with someone that has an impressive journey. We learned how someone can come into the Business Central community or into the Dynamics 365 community and experience a journey, and then also do many other things within the community, as well as learn about a new upcoming event that will be held in August in a small country in the Pacific region.
Yeah.
With us today, we had the opportunity to speak with Doher, Drizzle, Pablo.
The doorbell's missing.
Kris, someone's at the door.
I know.
What happened to the doorbell? Is it broken?
I have no idea.
I wonder who it could be. Who is it? Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Is my audio clear?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
We can hear you perfectly fine.
All right. Because I had issues with my laptop. I'm not sure. It's not connecting properly on my internet, so I'm using my iPad. But I hope it's good. It's perfect.
Oh, it is. It's perfect. We can see you.
Okay.
Wonders of technology.
Yes.
And also, in cases like this, it goes to show you that doesn't matter how much we rely on technology, it always fails at the points when you need it the most.
Oh, especially yesterday. The Facebook. I thought I was hacked.
Oh,
I heard it was down for quite a
I
while.
heard something about that. I'm very
Yes.
thankful that I don't use it.
Oh.
I don't use it. I don't
Well,
use it
I was
either.
so nervous actually because I have friends and family in the Philippines. Our main communication is Facebook. So like 1 hour or a couple of hours, I was sending messages to them. And then when I check, oh, you were locked out. So that's an indication that you were hacked when you were locked out.
Wow.
That what
Yes.
you said right there was nice, because I've been doing a lot of reading about social media, time management, focus, and I'm reading some good books. One I'm reading now is all about social media and the negative bias and the focus and how they grab your attention, they force you to shift, and how they
Yes.
design these systems. But to hear somebody using a social media tool such as Facebook for
Mm.
something that I think like the good of it is where you can share information with your family and friends, or in your case, if your only means of communication with people is through this and it connects you and allows you to communicate, that's a great purpose for it. The what I call the doomsday scrolling of trying to keep up with everybody and seeing all of the negative bias and watching all of
Yes.
the hardship of others and sort of capitalizing on that is a shame. But thank you for taking the time to speak with us. We have a lot of things we want to talk about with you. You're doing a lot of great things and doing some great things with Kris as well. So with that, before we jump into it, would you mind taking a moment to introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what you do and where you are?
All right. So, hi everyone. Mabuhay. I'm Doher Drizzle Pablo. You can call me Drizzle. I'm really known as Drizzle in the professional world because, of course, I have a long name. But in the Dynamics world or in the Microsoft world, it's Drizzle, and people will know about me. I hope the good stuff. All right, but in a typical day, Drizzle is also a mom. I'm a mom of three. And then I'm also working full time as a solution architect. Currently, I just moved from Philippines to Sweden just this year. It's also like a breakthrough moment for me. It all started when just last year when I organized the first face to face again after the pandemic in the Philippines. And then there was one speaker who visited us in the Philippines, who flew from Singapore, and then encouraged me to attend MVP Global Summit. So the breakthrough started from that. And now I'm here in Sweden. So doing my full time job, as you know, the 8-hour work. But aside from that, since my passion and I'm really dedicated into community, I ensure that I dedicate a specific time every day, every work day, and weekend. I also dedicate it in more on pro bono or community work. So I doubled from different roles on a specific day, but weekend it's really community focused. So I'm an active community leader, also one of the Microsoft Learn experts. So that's all about Drizzle. Yes.
Wow.
Wow, that's a lot.
That is a lot. A mother of three, working full time, then also moving from the Philippines to Sweden. That is inspiring. I've been talking with more and more people, and we've had some guests on here as well, with Kris and I having some conversations with other members of the Dynamics 365 space at the community, how you would like to talk about it, that took that leap. It took that jump and move from one country to another. And you put some perspective on it. Here in the United States, we move from state to state. It's rather easy. It's, they can't really, prevent you from moving from one state to the other, unless you have some legal issues or something possibly. But for the most part, if you can have a residence anywhere. But to get up and move from one country to another country with its different laws, regulations, and rules is an additional challenge to it. But it's inspiring to see so many doing it from different countries, and some will do it multiple times. So it's inspiring to see that you take that risk, because it is a risk. Because again, if you're a mom of three, you have a family that you also have to do, and that's inspiring. But then the other part that is admirable is what you call the pro bono part, which is the community work that you're trying to do, which is also something that we'd like to talk with you about as well, because that is a big part and a great part of what we could do, is to give back to the community to make the world a better place. In my opinion, I think it's important. I think we need that at this point. So what made you
I love
jump?
the way. Sorry, I love the way you said you focus and so you got certain time in the day that you put focus on. I love that, because Brad and I have spoken to many people, very successful, where all of them have set focus time just to do one thing, which is amazing. And then you got your weekend. You
Yes.
got your weekend that you give back as well to the community. So that's very impressive. So sorry, Brad.
No, it's a good point. That is the key, as Kris pointed out. It's focus. It's how you get stuff done, and that's one of the points that we've had conversations with others in person and on the podcast of how people get things done. And that's basically what everybody said, is they focus. And what they mean by focus is they block off times on their calendar where it becomes like an appointment. So I'm going to spend 2 hours a day on this, 2 hours a day on that, or an hour on a day on that during this block of time. And you feel like you have to do it. I used to do that, mostly with presentations, but I'm starting to slowly get back and do that with my life. I call it blocks of time, and it's working. I get more done, and I'm less stressed. And at least I know if I have something on the calendar that I have to do, I don't forget that I have to do it, which is good. So as far as some of the community involvement, Dynamics 365 has its place in many places, and within the community, it's also expanding in many areas. So what has been your experience with Dynamics 365 outside of the U.S., maybe in the Pacific? You mentioned you're from the Philippines, and some of the activities there.
Yes. of course, when it comes to my experience with Dynamics 365, I'll just give you like a gist on how I started my journey. Why did I choose this path for business application or Dynamics 365? So it was around 2016 when I started my journey. Just in time for the launching of Dynamics 365 moving to the cloud. So from the nav, AX, the CRM online, all the on-premise moving to the cloud. So I believe I just joined the right time, the right season. So I remember before I had a business. It was a clothing company. It was DMD Chic Mode. So I converted my business registration to become a startup Microsoft partner for me to access the learning materials for those who were doing Dynamics before, decades ago. We have DLP, right? Dynamics Learning Portal. And for you to have access to those learning materials and videos and other resources, there are certain prerequisites. Let's say if you are connected to a company, then you need to register your employees for them to get DLP. And then before, I was doing it on my own. So I registered myself as a Microsoft partner so I can study for the first 3 months. So it's
Wow.
trial and error, to be honest. So doing the labs, understanding the concepts. And I said, okay, from the different solutions within Dynamics 365, we still have Navision before AX, we have CRM. I said, I'll start first with CRM because I have a business background. And then if I'll deliver or offer CRM, it will be easy because it's a mix of doing consultancy, advisory for the business, and then giving them a specific solution. So after 3 months of studying on my own, googling some words, of course, checking what's available, what are the available resources before. So that's what I did. After 3 months, I got my first client. Actually, the first client was based in the US, more on for verification. So I built CRM for them. And then after that, I got another client. So I believe it's a client, a construction firm based headquarters in Australia, Singapore, Malaysia. So implemented Dynamics 365 for sales, then customer service, then field service. So we do it by phasing per module. And then I also implemented before the nav, the vision part of it, just on the financial side. So we can complete the flow of prospect to cash. All right. And then, of course, from then on, I had multiple customers already. May it be based in the Philippines or based globally. Usually, my customers are really based out of US and then ANZ and Asian countries. And then also, I joined Microsoft Philippines too around 2018 as a TSP. So, Microsoft Philippines reached out to me because Dynamics was still new. Of course, it was just the launch. And then there are only a few resources who can speak about Dynamics 365, preferably when it comes to CRM and ERP, understanding the concepts, the use cases, because I've been doing it. I did the implementation, everything end-to-end roles during that time. So I helped them to close their fiscal year. But then I only had a short stint because I still wanted to go back to helping more companies, not really tied into Microsoft. Because when I was with Microsoft, no outside work, of course, it's not allowed. So I said, I cannot help more organizations. I'm just stick to this role, or I'm just inside the box. So I'm not that happy. I want to see myself like doing the hard stuff, as I can say. And then went back to doing the actual consultant, solution architect role. And then I can say I was working as a startup partner. I work within Microsoft, our mother company. I work with a couple of Microsoft partners. And then I can say like the icing on the cake is getting a leadership role, going back again to Microsoft Philippines and be the business group leader before for business applications. So it was, I can say, it was a great journey of from nothing and into something. That's why I'm here, like trying a different journey again outside the country, going out from the comfort zone because I want to experience the full journey of a professional, Microsoft professional, specifically for Dynamics 365 or business applications. So yeah, that's just a gist.
Wow.
But it's a bit long.
That is impressive and inspirational because it's again you hit on a couple key points, and I have so many questions from what you had mentioned that hopefully others can gain and learn from, because you said you went out of your comfort zone,
Yes.
basically, in a sense, and you went on some journeys, adventures, and tried things, which is important. Instead of sitting, I know a lot of people get comfortable. They want to try to do new things, and they sometimes have hesitation because of fear. And the ability to step outside of your comfort zone or step out of that box and to try new adventures. And moving to another country, I say to everybody, is impressive because that forces you to learn. One, you have to find employment because you need to live. And two, along with that, if you're starting a new career, you have to learn your new career. But the other part is you also have to learn new cultures and new ways, because you have everything down to sometimes with foods, gestures, conversations. There's different types of subtle things that you may not know that you also have to learn. So a move to another country, wherever it may be, is something that's not comfortable. And it's inspirational to hear you do it. And you've done so much. And some of the things that you've done and some of the things that you're doing to help others are great as well. So you have quite a journey. And it sounds like for the most part, you were self-taught
Yes.
to drive this. So what are some of the things that you can recommend if someone's looking to make a change or make a shift or get into this community that could help them learn more and maybe get a foothold to get started to come out of that box or step out of that box?
Well, for me, since I'm one of the Microsoft Learn experts, or before joining the Microsoft Learn team, of course, it's more on community as well, community activity. I actually created a specific journey. I always take a look at like what should be like the end-to-end journey for a particular member or a newbie, because I don't want them that they will just attend one community event and nothing, right? For me, there's no impact. It will be useless as well for the speaker, to the organizer, and even to the attendee. All right. So usually, I believe these events that we're creating for communities, it's just like a discovery phase, like encouraging them that these are the technology, these are the messaging that we're trying to relate to them, that this is readily available out in the market. So go ahead and take advantage to it, because that one event will start their learning journey. Okay, so when they start their learning journey, it will be a process already. So reading all the materials, following a specific learning path within Microsoft Learn, reading the available documentation that we have within Microsoft, and then connecting to the different user groups or communities, then they will start completing the actual journey. Let's say completing a specific learning path, taking the certification. Then, of course, some communities also have some events that they can join, and then their learning can be enriched or be polished. Let's say we have some hackathons, demos on how to do some kind. And then at the end of the day, within the community, we are also helping them to find an opportunity, may it be part-time or full-time, better work as well for them. So I've actually created a specific journey from discovery to connect, like a monthly recurring connect. So just to ensure that when they started their learning journey, they'll be able to reach their aspirations and goals. We support them within the community. So that should be the experience or the journey that I never had. So I always ensure that I share it to all the newbies or for those who wanted to start their path or journey within the community, specifically when it comes to Dynamics 365. We need to help them. We need to be a light or partners for those people. Yes.
I need to jump into that. That sounds wonderful. It sounds like an exciting journey. The one thing you had mentioned is you had mentioned a Microsoft Learn expert.
Yes.
I'm familiar with Microsoft Learn. I use Microsoft Learn often
Yes.
for documentation and also going through some of their small course modules that they have to gain exposure and learn about new
Yes.
things. Again, that's what I use it for. And I think some that look at it and talk about it, it's good for exposure. You won't learn everything, but you get enough exposure to start to want to learn or to jump in to do more. What is a Microsoft Learn expert?
All right. So before, we have those Microsoft Learn. Microsoft Learn experts are just additional guides. These are thought leaders, MVPs, or certified professionals who will be there to guide. May it be a newbie, an expert, an IT professional. So it's like augmenting the current material that we have online, because before, like, we have different, even now, we really have different types of learners, right? Some people would love to read those articles, but some people would love to have a discussion, to have a mentor, to have a different type of activities, because reading is good, but exploring what's outside those materials will be better, especially if you are going to see it in actual or practical applications or other activities that will get their liking or their attention, that, oh, this is good. Like, aside from learning this specific learning path, we have this expert who can guide me, who you can already have a quick chat, consultation. Those learn experts, will usually create some handy materials, like how can we make this, let's say, one course better for a newbie or a specific persona, so they can easily digest and understand, let's say, AI concept, data analytics, or even Dynamics 365 Business Central or CRM. So it's more on like Microsoft Learn experts are your partners, advisors for free, while you are learning not anymore on your own, but you'll say Microsoft provided someone with you in your journey.
That's very cool. I love that.
That is, Kris. That's something. It's one area I must admit that I wasn't aware of.
Same here.
There was a Microsoft Learn expert. Sign me up. I want to go on this journey.
Yes.
So you were self-taught. You were using some things online. You had mentioned you used Google to search, which the tools were available at that time to learn more. And then you had mentioned you had a company before.
Yes.
And then you switched that company over to become, in essence, an ERP consulting company to simplify.
Right.
And I'm not trying to speak less of all the things that you've done or accomplishments. I'm just trying to simplify it and put it in perspective. And then you said that your first client was in the U.S., was outside of the U.S. So you were in the Philippines at this time?
I was in the Philippines. My client is in the U.S.,
So here, that's another. So you went from one company to transition over to having an ERP company. You went through your experience online, looking at the material, walking through and understanding how to work. And I'm assuming practicing somehow. But now came the time to start doing this for work. And you had mentioned you found a company that hired your services to help them with their implementation in the U.S. How does that happen? How did you go about how did you go about a startup, which is admirable? I can't say enough how much I admire individuals that have startup companies and and try it, either successful or not. That depends on your definition of success. Definition of success. To me, taking that jump and trying something is successful. But how did you get a customer in another country?
It was through LinkedIn. Like, it all started with a simple post. Like, I was giving an updates about dynamics before, like doing some small digest or like summarizing in my own way some of my learnings or key takeaways from some of the modules. And then the CEO was one of my network or part of my network, and then he said they're interested, they wanted to know more about CRM, how they can use it, because they can see the potential. And then that's where all the conversation started through LinkedIn. So shout out to LinkedIn. Thank you. Yes, yes.
That's awesome. The
That
networking.
See, another case. This is inspirational to the importance of using these tools for what they're meant to be. So LinkedIn is another one that some will fall in that social media type aspect. I like that, and that's the one I use mostly because it is more professional, where individuals are sharing knowledge versus sharing their vacations and sharing hardship or sharing other things. It's a learning experience for me because I do look at content that others post and get awareness. Say, oh, there's a new feature. I'm going to go check that out. Oh, this is what somebody did. So you use LinkedIn by sharing content about your CRM experience, and it
Yes,
worked.
yes, that's right.
They only took one. That's it.
Even the second one, actually, the recruiter was looking for a resource. And then I said, I really don't want to be an employee. I mean, employed, because I want to explore and help other organizations. And they said, okay, no worries, I can talk to the CEO if they're open to hire like a freelancer or a contractor. And then when I had a chance, it's LinkedIn again, because they searched my profile, and then that's where it started again, a different story with LinkedIn. Yep.
A great plug for LinkedIn. See, it's. I'm sure they don't
Yes,
need it
yeah.
from us, but it's a good outlet for others to understand where they could go to. It's not hard. It does. It sounds simple. There's a lot more to you just doing a couple posts and then you're getting getting
Yes.
a career jump from it. But it just shows that it is possible, and how important it is to stay connected, stay up to date.
Yeah, we need talent. So what you did there is another example where you're not only you're learning, but you gotta build your own profile, right? And
Yes.
and start collecting and start networking across the globe. And so when you got a client across the pond, the bigger pond, uh, how did that work for you in terms of time zones?
Well,
We know
yes.
nothing about time zones,
Yeah,
Kris.
shifting from different time zones was already not a problem to me, because I was a call center agent before. So I'm used to working graveyard, mid shift, day shift. So shifting schedules, that's not a problem. Sometimes I will just lock myself in and then adjust my time based from my clients. And then that's where my head is at. Like, that, okay, that's their schedule. That's my schedule too. And sometimes, like, few years ago, no holiday. So that's not in my vocabulary back then. But now, of course, work life balance. So I started to embrace that.
So when you worked internationally, if you had clients that you were working on, you in essence shifted
Super,
your
yes.
schedule where you were living to live on their schedule. That's a good idea. That must be difficult because the effects of light on your body. I also think it may matter how many hours time difference there is. I know Kris and I have a 3-hour time difference. We do speak with guests that we've had
Yes.
13-hour time difference with before. I think that's a little more
Yes.
difficult. A couple-hour shift is okay. I don't know how someone can manage. What's the biggest time difference shift that you've
I
had?
think US Philippines before 8 or 12 hours, I think, is the time difference. Yeah.
Wow.
That must be tough. That must be tough with a home life too, because your family would be awake unless you made them shift too. Did you make them
No,
shift their
just me.
schedule
I
too?
just have like a dedicated room where I work, and then separate. I have my own world when I'm working.
You're
Yeah.
really focused.
Yes, yes.
It's It's how you get stuff done, though. I'm learning. You have to dedicate and isolate yourself and not have those distractions. It's a harder discipline than many think.
Yes.
So it sounds easy to say you have a dedicated room, block off the hours of the times, but with that, you're also fighting off those external
Yes, of
distractions
course.
and having to stay away from the portion of it. And with the focus, the most important thing I've learned over the past couple of years that helps or has helped me is 2 letters, and you put them together and know what they sound like. No.
Yes.
Sometimes that's one of the most
Yes.
important things that you
Yes.
can do is to learn to say
Yes.
no to somebody. And I've always felt badly
Mm,
saying no as part of that because I don't want to upset or
that's
disappoint
true.
people. But one thing I've learned is saying no. And a lot of times people don't care as long as you're concrete with it. It's when you start doing the maybe, I don't know, I'll get back to you, where they're indecisive, uncertain themselves. But if you give somebody, no, I'm not doing that, or no, I can't do that. You don't have to be cruel. No, I don't have time available. No, I can't do this. They just move on. And they're not hung in that limbo, and they won't be upset. So I know we're jumping here in a couple other things. So within the Philippines, what are some of the other things that you're doing? Within the Philippines now, I think for the community
Yes.
from Sweden.
Still like doing the mentorship for some of our community leaders, because of course we need to pass the baton. Of course, when we started our community, it was just one community, and then we encourage other members to step out, lead their own user groups where they're more comfortable. So from one community with just 100 of members, now it's sprung to, I think we already have 7 or 8 user groups, and then there's one user group where we have around 9,000 active members because we're utilizing
Wow, that's
Facebook.
impressive.
Wow,
Yes. So
that is impressive. So you started one user group in the Philippines focused on Dynamics 365, the
yes, that's right.
ecosystem. Yeah. And now that has grown and expanded to 9
Yes,
user
different.
groups. How long did it take for that expansion? And with that also to me leads to the expansion of D365 within the Philippines, because for you to have a user group of 9
Yes.
or 9 user groups, there has to be community members or individuals who want to participate who also are probably using the
Yes.
application. So that shows that there's also a growth of
Yes,
the
that's right.
product in that area as well.
Yeah.
That is amazing to see the growth and to have you grow that. And now you're doing it from
Yes.
Sweden.
So mentoring, just ensuring like all the groups, checking it, if they need assistance or guidance. We also have like moderators for some of the groups and some of the leaders. Also sharing what's possible, what are the activities that we can work together still, and then what are the community activities that Microsoft is sharing or planning, and then we can just execute it in our community locally. So that's one. Another is still continuing the usual or the regular monthly or sometimes quarterly community events. And then third is we have like volunteers. These volunteers, we give them specific tasks for learning, for posting, because we need to keep things going within the community. So there is like a continuous support as well. So even if I'm away, like literally, technically, I'm no longer in the Philippines, but we still have the flow, the usual flow that we've been doing in my country, and it will still continue, and it will be better. Yeah, so that's what I shared when I left.
No, that's great. You're giving so much, and I appreciate that for the community. And I'm sure all the members in the Philippines of what you had started are also grateful. How did you start a user group? Again, so now we heard the journey of how one can learn and start a career, and even again, you can be self-taught to start, and then you take that risk. You go out on LinkedIn, you post some content in that avenue. But for those that want to create or start or work within their own community to help enrich others' lives, how did you start or how would one, or how could one start a user group or a community in an area that they see that
Yes.
there's one
I
lacking?
started my community journey when Paul Suleiman, he was the first MVP for Microsoft Business Applications in the Philippines, created like one community event. I remember it was Thursday evening in Microsoft Makati. And then we're only few who attended because it was raining during that time. But for me, community always sparks something in my heart. So I said, oh, it's okay. Even if it's raining, I'll still go attend that community event. And then I met Paul, and then we had that conversation. We shared our advocacy about the community. Because before joining the tech community, I am also an active youth building communities in my hometown, in my place. So my heart is really for the community. So when we talked, me and Paul shared our advocacy, how I can help him too, and then the community. Then it all started from there. I remember November 2018. Yeah. November 2000. No, to November 2019. November 2019. And then after that, we organized a couple of events now. Paul also asked me if I can be one of the leaders to help him. And then that's it. That's the start. That was the start. I was an attendee, became a member, and a leader.
Wow. So it's a snowball
That's
effect.
great. That's a great journey. It is. It is. And I'm happy to hear of that. We need more members of the community. Just to jump for a moment, you're in Sweden. What drove you to Sweden again? How did you choose Sweden, and what made you end up in
Yes.
Sweden?
Why did I choose Sweden? Yeah, because I also had a couple. Yes.
Did you just spin the globe and just put your finger like where it stopped? You see what they're like. I'm going to spin the globe, and where I point and it stops,
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
going to move
Because I
there.
also had a couple of offer for relocation even during the pandemic. Like I got an offer for Singapore, yes, and stuff. So my mind before was I will not leave the Philippines. Of course, I mean most of the Filipinos will have that mindset because this is my comfort zone. I'm happy. I mean, for us, we're just happy because we're happy people. I mean, simple life is okay. I mean, we're not thinking of anything as long as the basic needs are covered for myself, for my family, we're good, right? And then we also prayed for here for the right moment if I need to move. And I said last year, I believe it's the right time to move, but to which country? So this organization that I'm with right now did not really force me, like gave me time to think about it, and also allowed me to explore the different countries last year. And then from the trips that I had, like the business trips, community trips, and I started to like understand the different countries, US, Europe, and then some of the Asian countries that I've been with. And then of course I have my table, like why should I go to this particular country? What are the benefits? What's in it for us? Not just for myself, because I also have a family. And here comes Sweden. Sweden is of course, like as you know, one of the cleanest country in the world. Plus, as I've shared, I love IKEA. I'm really a fan of that minimalist, being organized person. And then the technology, working with from a third world country to an advanced country, the categorization is all like, oh, I can really hone my skills and then my experience here, with Sweden or US, because these are the countries or the regions who are really into technology. They will really have a specific funding, and they will get the full support even from the government and different organizations to do the implementation or embrace, let's say, Dynamics 365, AI, Power Platform. So I actually had a head-to-head battle from US and then Sweden. But I chose Sweden because just a smaller country, and then I felt like when I visited Sweden last year, I felt like it's home. Like when I check the place, oh, I think it's also like the Philippines where I feel at peace. So I said, okay, Sweden it is. So I decided to move here. Yeah.
Wow. So if you had chosen
Uh,
the US, where would have that been?
Yes, for US of course, it's first choice is always Utah because of the
Huh?
mountains, of the scenery,
Yeah.
and then the laid back life. Second, of course, in Seattle because of the Microsoft and all. So yeah, Utah and Seattle.
Wow. Yeah, that's two good choices. Laid back life, it's always important because like Filipinos are, like you said, inherently they're very happy people, and you just as long as every like life's necessities are covered,
Mm-hmm.
life is good, right? Life's happy, laid back, quiet. So you choosing from an island to place where you're surrounded by mountains, it's a big shift mindset, right? Because I'm the same way. Grew up by the beach, and then now you're like in the mountains. There's no beach around here. So for you to move from the Philippines to Sweden, are you close to the water, or
Yes.
are you?
Yes, you're right. Yeah. Yes, you're right. Yeah, I'm close to the water, to the lake. Yeah.
That's impressive.
that's it's Chris, you had mentioned happy. I think part of the happiness, not to get too philosophical, call it with my reading, call about just maybe as I'm getting older. It's there's a certain point you
Yes.
realize what's important in life and what you're doing and why. And it goes back to me, it
Mm-hmm.
all comes back to focus. Like focus on what is important. Chris, you had mentioned life's, you have life's necessities. As long as you have life's necessities, you have to
Yes.
define those necessities. I mean, you can look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, or you can look at whatever point you want to be with. But I started to try to have a shift of, do I really even need that? I want this, but do I need that? Is it a necessity to me? What is it going to have? And your point of the minimal life is another thing that people can have that you don't get caught up on.
Yeah.
That's
So I'm
important.
curious. So Drizzle, I know you and I are working on something else,
Yes.
and with a different time zone. I think several of us are all in different time
Oh,
zones, so trying to fit it all in.
yeah, yeah,
Are,
yeah.
are,
uh,
are you going to tell us what it
yeah,
is,
I
or is
was
that a
going to ask
secret?
Drizzle if she can explain what
Oh,
this
okay. I'll be quiet then.
what she's working on. She's leading on, like you're leading this, right? And everyone is helping as best as possible. So yeah, tell us a little bit more about that.
Of course, we are we are bringing the Microsoft Ignite, Microsoft Power Platform, or the big conferences, experience, or summits that I've attended last year from US or Europe to the Philippines, because we want that the community or the people there will also immerse themselves that, oh, these are the experiences, the actual experience, and then we're seeing it now. So we're bringing it. It's a technology conference that's gonna be in August. So although we know we finalized the date already, so it's August. Okay, first week of August, in Manila for our first community face-to-face event, because for the past years, specifically during the pandemic, most of our community events are just online. And our community members, as you know, we grew exponentially, and we really need to see each other, not just see each other, but of course, do the actual connection, establish relationships, and for them to meet more people, may it be from the Microsoft leadership, the Microsoft experts, thought leaders, even in the industry. So it's going to be an event with a journey, right, Kris? As you know me, I'm a type of
Yes.
person who loves a journey, who loves a specific journey, because we wanted that after they attend, of course, we will invest their time, money, and effort on that specific event. They'll be able to reach their goals, why they went and participated in that specific event. So we call it like a solidarity, just a solidarity of us Filipinos. Like Kris also has a Filipino blood, and some of the core team or the leaders also got their Filipino heart or blood flowing. So we're organizing this for the community, by the community. So just to give back event this August. Yeah, Kris, go ahead if you
Yeah,
missed
no, I
anything.
was saying, it's perfect. So I love the idea that I got invited to help and be part of this because one of the things I always look back, and I've spoken to Brad about this and several others as well, is it was very tough getting into the space. You had to self-taught, you had to network and all that. There was very few, I would say, community back then, where it's like local, small. You start small community and then joining to bigger communities, and of course, finding someone to help you kind of go through the stage of your journey on your career. So having this event not only is an opportunity for partners or ISVs to look at different talents from different perspectives, but also give an opportunity for younger talents that are trying to get into the space. So we're trying to marry that together so that, because we need more people.
Yeah.
We need more people in this Dynamics 365 space. The product is growing. There's different aspects. You have Power Platform, you have ERP, you got CE. So all of that, you kind of have to really bring it together. So having this face-to-face event that we're putting together, it's going to be pretty impressive and a whole lot of fun, because there is a pretty huge community in the Philippines, but again, like you said, it was all virtual.
Yes,
So getting them all in one place is pretty exciting.
that's true.
So
Yeah.
So you're having an in-person user group, or it sounds to me
Yes.
like some sort of conference, since it will be larger, in the
August.
Philippines in August. And that's open to anyone that's in the Philippines or anybody that would like to
Yes.
come from other countries to join as well. Kris, I'm going to ask you,
what?
Are you going?
That's my goal, is
Yeah.
to go there in August.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it your goal or
It's
is
my
it your
focus.
Okay, so come Drizzle, come August, I want to see Kris in the Philippines. I know that I will not be able to make it. I would love to make
Yes.
it. Maybe I can swing that, though. We'll have to see, Kris. Maybe I'll jump over there with you, because it'd be a good journey to see. I've never been to the Philippines, so it would be a good journey. I want to hear more about it, and I look to see more about it in the future when you start hopefully posting and sharing information on how someone can register. And I invite all others to attend.
Yeah. So with that, Drizzle, we appreciate your time. I know with the time zone and the things that you're doing for the community. What Brad always asks our guests, how do people get a hold of you if they're interested or have more questions, or to continue the conversation, or maybe ask you how to get their journey started?
Okay, first, of course, connect with me through LinkedIn. Just Google, not Google, search, sorry. my Microsoft hates me. Just you search me on LinkedIn, Doher, Drizzle, Pablo, and then you'll see my profile holding the atomic model of business applications. And then that's me. That's first one. Second is you can join my official Microsoft Learning Room. I'm one of the Learn experts. It's What's Up Biz App. So feel free to join there. So What's Up Biz App? Let's just have fun while learning, and I will be your partner. So those are the two methods where you can reach or connect with me. Yep.
So
What's Up Biz
LinkedIn
App?
or the
Yes.
What's Up Biz App Learning Room.
Yeah.
I have to check out this learning room. I honestly, as much as I follow and try to keep up with things, that's one thing that's new to me. And one other question that I would like to have, or I'd like to ask, geez, I don't know what it is this time of day. You've been working with implementing ERP software or implementing software for some time now. What would you say is your worst or worst implementation experience, or what some would call a horror story, in your words, based upon what you've done, or in essence, something that may have stood out as, what is your
Well,
worst
worst experience
experience
for
with
an
an implementation?
implementation is too much code. They did the hard code, no documentation, and then there's a problem for one global organization who implemented ERP, and then they cannot print out the manifest because of that code. So it was pandemic during that time. They asked me to fly to that place in the Philippines. It's another island, and I said yes because they really need help. Just too much of the code, no documentation. So that's the worst. So please, if you're gonna do that, please ensure that you have the proper documentation. Or since Microsoft is saying, as much as possible, we utilize what's out of the box, the standard. But since every business or organization is unique, you need to do an assessment before you do the hard coding, please. Yes.
That's we all know that, right? Hard code. Brad, I know Brad's a developer.
Don't even get me.
Yes.
No, I don't hard code. No.
Yes.
I cringe when I see it, and I see so many. I'm just going to do this fast. We'll go back and fix it. And as I say I don't know where the quote may have originated. I hear many people say it. I don't even have anybody to take credit to it. But there's no permanent solution than a temporary solution. And a lot of that hard coding and those other things that you see are like, oh, it will always be this way. But again, Drizzle, thank you for your time today. We appreciate it. You have a wonderful journey, and you're an inspiration. And hopefully many others that are looking to jump into the community can follow your lead. And I look forward to seeing more information about the Philippines conference that you will be hosting and working on with Kris and others in the community.
Yes, that's right.
In August.
All right. Thank you, Drizzle.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you, Kris, for your time for another episode of In the Dynamics Corner Chair. And thank you to our guests for participating.
Thank you, Brad, for your time. It is a wonderful episode of Dynamics Corner Chair. I would also like to thank our guests for joining us. Thank you for all of our listeners tuning in as well. You can find Brad at developerlife.com. That is DVLPRLIFE.com. And you can interact with them via Twitter, DVLPRLIFE. You can also find me at matalino.io, matalino.io. And my Twitter handle is matalino16. And you can see those links down below in the show notes. Again, thank you, everyone. Thank you, and take care.